So, Will, can you introduce yourself to me?
My name is Will Gerstein. I am the founder, the owner, the president, and currently I overlook managerial operations at Bucket Wings Enterprises, which is a franchise of chicken wings in the Midwest.
Can you give me a little bit more information about where you're from?
So I finished up my last 2 years of high school in Chicago, but before that I've lived in Madrid, Spain. I've lived in California. I've lived in different parts of Chicago and in Wisconsin. So I'm kind of from all over the place.
This is a little bit more personal, but what's your favorite place that you've lived?
My favorite place I've lived is probably going to have to be Madrid. I played soccer there, and so I went to school there. I lived alone for most of it, and it was quite a cool experience. It was a lot of fun.
No, I definitely want to travel abroad to Madrid.
Learning Spanish was pretty cool too.
Yeah, you seem like you're fluent in it. So, who else is involved with your business that you created?
So I'm the sole founder. I originally started it, and my first employee was one of my really good friends. And so the two of us kind of worked it off the ground. And he no longer is a part of the business. He went and joined the military. But right now, I am the president. I overlook managerial operations. We have two managers, and we have about 13 employees at the one location that are high school students from Wisconsin.
Okay, very interesting. What was the motive in creating this business?
The motive to creating this was during the pandemic. I went up to Wisconsin and left Chicago area, and I ordered a pizza one night. And they called me back and they said it was going to be a 3.5 hour wait for a small cheese pizza. And I said, this is ridiculous. There's too much demand for takeout food because of the pandemic. I need to get in on this. And that is where the idea and the motive behind Bucket Wings kind of came. I'm not even going to lie, it was probably the money was really the really big motive.
I think that can be a big motive for a lot of people, though. And I know you said it started during the pandemic, but can you give me a little bit more in depth about the experience that went through your mind when you were creating this?
So this was not my first business I've started. But this was the first business when it came to professional and having to be very right along the law because the food industry is very tough. So the first thing when you want to get a business rolling that has to do with food is you need your food license. It varies from state to state. Wisconsin, the big thing is you need a food plan. That's what it's called. And the food plan is basically how are you going to cook your food. So you have to write, it's about a 15-page paper that states where am I going to get my food from, how am I going to cook it, how am I going to prepare it, where am I going to cook it, and how is it going to be served. So that was the hardest thing. So from there on, I just started making calls. And I was on calls. If there was no virtual school to end my senior year, I would not have been able to start the business because I was on calls for 3 to 4 hours a day talking with manufacturers, suppliers. So once we found out our chicken, I cooked thousands of wings. I would say I actually cooked 6,000 wings. We cooked them in ovens, air fryers, deep fryers, any way you can cook a chicken wing until we found the way that made it a bucket wing, and that is with air fryers. So once we chose our air fryer, we chose the type of air fryer, the next step was to locate a kitchen. So I actually ended up using a community-owned kitchen in Green Lake, Wisconsin that benefited the community. So it was a startup kitchen. So if you came and brought a business plan to them, they would help you by giving you a price reduction on the kitchen area. So that was very beneficial to the business. So it was started out of a community kitchen at the beginning. And so once we had our kitchen and we had the way we were going to cook our wings and, I found all my sauce providers. I like to say we tried 137 different sauces and we now have 10 at the restaurant. But once we got all of that down on a list, we submitted it and we were granted our food license. From there, it got to the fun part because then we could go after our business license. It just goes on. And our business license is the business part of it. So that was LLC, insurance, setting up a bank account, choosing a POS. So we run all of our website, all of our POS credit card systems on SquareUp, which is you use your iPads and tablets. It's a pretty cool idea. So we did that. I created our logo and we created the name Bucket Wings. That's how the name came to come, was during that business part. And we got the business license for the town of Green Lake, a business license for the town of Green Lake, a business license for the county of Green Lake, and a business license for the state of Wisconsin. So we have 3 business licenses and a food license. Once that was all done, we were a business. I have it framed in my bedroom, the piece of paper that says you are a business. So once that was all together, Bucket Wings was born. We had everything we needed to start making money.
Now, this is kind of a simple question, but what's your favorite flavor or sauce that you use?
If
Whether it's your sauce or whether it's a different sauce that you've had before, what is your favorite?
If you walk into a Bucket Wings kitchen and ask that question, you will start a war. I am a big proponent of I love our teriyaki sauce. That or our signature, which is our homemade sauce, our signature smoke sauce. Those are my two favorites. This summer when I was working the 14, 15-hour shifts every day, I was eating 30 wings a day, and I was just smoking teriyaki every time. That was kind of my go-to.
No, I agree. I'm a big barbecue girl, but I do like teriyaki also, so that's a good flavor to choose. How do you manage this while also being a full-time student here at UNC?
It was pretty difficult. So Bucket Wings was originally set to close August 1st when I left for UNC. To come to school here. The thing is that we never expected the business to do, in my wildest dreams, to do as well as it did. So I physically could not close our locations. It wasn't possible. There was so much demand, and we would have gotten so much hate from the community about just closing in the middle of the summer. So we decided to keep it open through the end of September. Those 2 months were the hardest 2 months of probably my life when it came to academics, because I was trying to get acclimated to school, and then I would finish my homework at 10 p.m., and then I was getting on calls with my managers who were just closing up shop, and they were sending me the invoices. So the way I balance it is I create cut times. So for example, today's a Monday. My time tonight is from 7 to 8 will be my business hour today. And I will but no schoolwork on my mind, 1 hour of just business. So I create pocketed times for business, but it's definitely something I think people underestimate how much work goes into it, because my roommates hate me. But the amount of times I'm up at 3, 4 a.m. on the computer just plugging away on a Saturday night is too many to count. So it's definitely a big time commitment. Even though our restaurants are closed, we're getting ready for the reopening in May. We're selling t-shirts. And I mean, as you know me, our social media is pretty big. So I'm constantly making content and coming up with new marketing ideas on how we're going to move the business forward. So that is just still time and time and time and time.